and welcome to our viewers from around the world. I'm Kristen Schwartz, licensed midwife and MC at Gold. And here at Gold, we are getting ready for our upcoming Gold Lactation online conference of 2021, just around the corner here. We'll get started March 29th. And what we like to do here at Gold is sit down with our speakers and learn a little bit about them and see what they're up to. And with me here today is one of our speakers here, Naomi Holt. Welcome, Naomi.
Hi, Kristen. How are you?
It's wonderful to have you here. I'm very well. And I can detect from your accent you are coming to us from Australia. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, I'm in Brisbane, which is the capital city of the state of Queensland in Australia.
That sounds beautiful. Can you describe a little bit the area there for our listeners from all around the world?
Oh, sure. Queensland's quite well known, particularly to people who come to Australia for holidays, because we are on the northeastern part of Australia, where we have the Great Barrier Reef and
Mm,
the Daintree Rainforest. And so we're north of Sydney. That's another place that many people know in Australia.
mhm.
Um, yeah, and so Brisbane's the capital city, so it's a metropolitan area.
Wonderful. Sounds absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, it was one of my dreams is to see the Great Barrier Reefs one day, hopefully down the road there. So tell us a little bit about your work. We were chatting earlier, and you were saying you had your 31st anniversary for nursing.
Yes, today. It's today, yes. 31 years ago, I had just finished school and I moved to the city to become a registered nurse. And I worked for quite a while as a registered nurse in Brisbane, and I worked mostly in the areas of cardiac intensive care, which is very different to what I do now.
Right.
I did that right up until when I became a mother in 2001. And after becoming a mother, I became very fascinated and passionate about all the things that there are to learn about breastfeeding and lactation.
Isn't that amazing how motherhood changes our career part in this case?
It's incredible. When I think about it, it blows me away actually how much my career has changed
Same.
just through becoming a mother.
And so that led you to the field of lactation. Is it because you experienced troubles yourself, or did you just realize this is such an amazing field? I need to be part of this. So how did this come together then?
I was very fortunate with my first baby. She was actually quite a good breastfeeder right from the start, which was very lucky given the lack of importance I placed on it at the time. And um, when she was about 6 weeks old, I had just one of those really bad days. And that's when I contacted the Nursing Mothers Association of Australia, who have now since changed their name and they're now the Australian Breastfeeding Association. But I did contact their 24-hour helpline, and the breastfeeding counsellor that I spoke to was very warm, reassuring, and provided me with great information that really made me feel much better and less concerned and confident that what I was doing was okay. And from that point, she had said to me, would you like to come along to one of the local meetings, which I did. And then that's pretty much, I think as a registered nurse, I was quite shocked to discover how much I didn't know about breastfeeding. I think sometimes as a health professional, you can
Mhm.
feel like you know all there
Yeah.
is to know.
Right.
But yeah, that really opened my eyes and made me realize there was a lot to learn, and that humans and infant feeding is actually quite fascinating. It's an incredible area, and that was 20 years ago.
Mhm.
My daughter just turned 20 2 months ago, and I'm still learning. So yeah, there's just so much to know and understand about human lactation.
Absolutely, there is, and you were so right. You said you were shocked as a nurse how little you knew and how much there was to learn. And I tell you, even for me as a midwife, coming then into the field of lactation, learning here also at Gold, that was a true eye opener. I thought I knew a little bit about lactation, but it
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
scratching the
it's
surface.
incredible.
And we're learning every day, and it's such a fascinating field, and every day there's a kind of new research coming out, about the components of breast milk and human milk, and all kinds of it goes so deep, the area. There's so much
Absolutely.
to learn, and it's not only about the nutrition, it's also about bonding and future development, brain development. So it's just a fascinating area.
That's right. Um, and I think then, I then went on to become train as a peer counsellor in with the Australian Breastfeeding Association,
Mhm.
and even then, I still wasn't satisfied and decided that I'd like to become an international board certified lactation consultant. So I think when my second baby came along, I had quite a few difficulties, and I needed to see a lactation consultant with that baby. And unfortunately, during that consult, I don't think I was really listening to what she was telling me, because I was just thinking, this is the job I want to have. so, um, so yeah, uh, that's then when I decided that I would like to study further and become an IBCLC.
Wonderful. And
Mm.
the families you helped so far over the years have really benefited from that decision. That's fantastic. Yeah, you will be presenting. Actually, your presentation for the conference is titled Importance of Peer Counseling and the Impact of the Pandemic on Breastfeeding Diets in Australia. And boy, peer counselors are amazing. They play such an important role, and I'm so glad that you will be presenting on the topic there with us. So I know, without giving too much away, because we want our delegates to come to the conference and to view your presentation, just give us a little overview of what we can look forward to.
Yeah, so in the early part of the presentation, I will be focusing mostly on peer counselling and what is a peer counsellor, what does a peer counsellor do that is different to say a health professional. And I
Hmm.
guess I kind of touched on that with my own experiences earlier. um, it's a completely different way of approaching a situation, just completely different language and
Hmm.
a whole different relationship. So that will be the focus of the first part of my presentation. And then the second part of the presentation is looking at peer counselling in the context of COVID-19,
Hmm.
which we've all been going through for the last
Yes.
12 months. It's been different, in different countries. It's been a very different experience. And here in Australia, we've actually been very fortunate where we haven't been as impacted as other nations. Completely acknowledge that. But we still have faced quite lengthy lockdowns, and very early in the piece, we decided to just keep track of the experiences of our volunteers within the Australian Breastfeeding Association, and what they were hearing from the mothers and families that they were talking to. And so we've got that documented with some survey results, and I'll be presenting those in the second part of the presentation. So just the how ABA, the Australian Breastfeeding Association, as a peer counsellor organisation, how we pivoted to continue to provide that support and information to mothers and their families, and what we found were the main impact. What was the main impact on
Hmm.
those families? With lockdown and with all the things that came with the pandemic.
I must say that is something the Australian Breastfeeding Association has done an incredible job then, because being so quick on their feet to realize, okay, we need to have this data, we need to have that information and collect that information right from the beginning,
Mm,
is wonderful to have that
mm.
information, also for looking back and preventing or being prepared for, hopefully not in the near future, or any future events that are like that. To be prepared and be best prepared, and to help the families in a situation like that. I must say that's wonderful to hear that the association did that.
Yeah, yeah, we're very fortunate with the people that we have in our organization, and that we were able to get that up and running quite quickly.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much, Naomi Hull, for sitting down here with me and chatting about
Fine.
beautiful Australia, your work, your 31st anniversary, and the upcoming presentation. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Kristen. I look forward to the rest of the conference.
And for our viewers, if you are now curious about this presentation and you want to find out more about all the other presentations in the conference, we would like to invite you to go to goldlactation.com. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Bye bye.
Thanks. Bye.